After falling in love as high school sweethearts many years ago, a man and a woman finally got the opportunity to tie the knot. Everything appeared to be going smoothly until they discovered that the man's bride-to-be was struggling with an untreatable illness. Dave McLaughlin, 35, and his beloved partner, Michelle Crowe, 33, met when they were in their teens. Both locals of Tipperary, Ireland, they met in 2004 and have been by each other's side ever since. They were inseparable over the years and had plans for a long, happy life together. In 2016, McLaughlin proposed to his longtime girlfriend, and they started to plan their perfect wedding. The two had already happily started a family together by then and were planning to tie the knot properly in the future. But things didn't go exactly as they had hoped. McLaughlin's mother, Noreen McLaughlin, passed away at 72. After McLaughlin lost his mother, Crowe's parents, John Crowe and Nora Crowe, also passed away at the age of 57. After all the postponements, their plans were entirely upended in 2022, when Crowe was suddenly diagnosed with an incurable disease mere months after they welcomed their youngest child. Shortly after the couple welcomed their second child, doctors approached Crowe with the news that she had breast cancer. The mother of two had discovered a large tumor in her left breast, and doctors eventually told her that the only way forward would be to undergo surgery. Crowe's youngest boy, Oisin McLaughlin, was born in January, and the diagnosis came in July when she found a worryingly large lump in her breast. The family was utterly devastated, but Crowe had faith. She immediately started chemotherapy, hoping to be rid of the tumor and move on with her life. Sadly, the chemo didn't do the trick. The next option was a mastectomy, which she believed would do the trick. She had the surgery on February 14, 2023, and thought that would be the end of the disease. McLaughlin recalled that the surgery went off without a hitch. Doctors even told them to start planning their summer holiday. Only a couple of weeks after the mastectomy, Crowe started to experience severe stomach pains. With her cancer only recently left in the rear window, she and McLaughlin went in for another round with their doctor. Needless to say, they must have felt a good deal of apprehension. The diagnosis wasn't good. It turned out that the cancer had spread to Crowe's liver, which was causing her stomach aches. The couple didn't have many options left, and the disease was getting worse. McLaughlin recalled some of the days after the second diagnosis. He remembered seeing his wife look frailer and losing color. Despite this, she always tried to look on the bright side and remain hopeful. Nonetheless, they both knew what was happening, and they were acutely aware of everything they still wanted to do together. Crowe's health kept degrading, but McLaughlin noted that she tried to keep her spirits up. Eventually, the wife and mother of two had to be hospitalized after the cancer took so much out of her. Throughout the entire ordeal, Crowe and McLaughlin postponed their wedding even more. With Crowe hospital-bound, the chances of her and her beloved McLaughlin finally tying the knot seemed slim to none. Luckily, one nurse stepped in, suggesting they make their dream come true despite Crowe's failing health. McLaughlin recalled how the nurse approached him, asking whether he would consider marrying Crowe on the hospital grounds. McLaughlin and Crowe took the suggestion and ran with it. They had dreamed of their wedding for so long, having been together since they were 15 and 16. For more than 6 years, they've kept pushing their wedding further and further due to unexpected circumstances. But they couldn't postpone it any longer. The hospital staff pitched in to make the wedding an extraordinary occasion, and the guests gathered in the hospital chapel with a number of Crowe and McLaughlin's favorite songs playing. Although she was clearly fighting for her life, Crowe insisted on walking into her own wedding. McLaughlin looked back at their wedding day, admiring his wife's fortitude and saying she looked tremendous. The pair stood side by side in the chapel on March 20, finally saying their vows, even though they'd been together through so much already. Afterward, the staff of University Hospital Limerick spruced up their room. The nurses had hung LED lights all over her hospital room. They also left the couple some non-alcoholic wine to celebrate. And although it wasn't the night either McLaughlin or Crowe had envisioned for the last few years, they made the best of their wedding. Meanwhile, there were no more avenues open for treatment. Crowe's cancer had progressed too far. She spent her last days in the hospital surrounded by loved ones and tragically passed away on Saturday, March 25. McLaughlin had to plan his wife's funeral only 5 days after their wedding. McLaughlin revealed he and other family members sat around her bed after she passed, sharing a bottle of gin. He further recalled, Her favorite thing to do was sit in the garden at the fire pit and sit out and listen to songs into the early hours. I've not listened to a song since. She loved music. She loved our kids more than anything. Following her passing, the entire town came together for a wake, many dressed in pink or with shaved heads, showing solidarity against breast cancer. McLaughlin also spoke about his loss, saying he missed Crow dearly. He had known her so long, life seemed entirely different without her, he shared candidly. The pain gets worse and worse. I'm in the car, and I hold my hand out for her and call out for a coffee. I'll never look at anyone in the same way. She was one in a million. I'm here for the boys. Crow is survived by her husband and their 2 boys, Cillian and Oyson McLaughlin. The grieving dad is giving all his attention to his sons while keeping the memory of his wife alive. McLaughlin recalled, "She was the happiest person you have ever met."